I think we're here. I think we got it.
Gosh.
We're live. Let's do the Harlem
Pew,
Shake.
pew, pew, pew. So hey guys. Don't look laughing at me. I think I
I'm
always try to
laughing at
look
me.
at my screen and my mirror. So I'm like, this head turns this way. Okay, don't judge me. So we are Stay Mentally Dope. And we're trying out this whole like going live thing with our stuff. Say hi to me. I'm Charmaine. That's Jasmine. Rocky is in the background. If
Say
you
hi to
see
Rocky
at point. Yeah, no, he's
as he
not.
gets comfortable.
Yeah, as he gets comfortable, and then he'll be sleeping in the background, singing in the background. But so today we are talking about. So we're talking about a Kanye West song.
It was a deep sigh.
I have to say a deep sigh because, for one, we know that Kanye West can be controversial, but this is off the first album, the College Dropout album, which is the album which I don't know about anybody else, but this is the album when I like fell in love with Kanye. This is the album that he was working on when he did the Netflix show, about like his biography, like this album was like the album. So even just like listening to the song, I like got all in my feels, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I miss this Kanye. So yes, I had the Tyra moment. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
This ain't even about Kanye. Okay, this ain't
It's
even about.
not.
It's about
It's
his
not
song.
about Kanye, but we do want to have a moment of like what happened just like listening to this song. But we are preparing for the holidays, y'all. Thanksgiving's coming, Christmas is coming. So just like thinking about like songs to talk about family business, and what better song to pick than Kanye West Family Business. This song talked about family business. So we are talking all things family business, all things
Say
family
family
stuff.
business again. Say it again.
Family business.
Family business.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Whoo! So when's the last
Yes,
time
how did
you
you feel?
listened? Well, I was gonna say, when's the last time you listened to this album?
To that album, to the whole album. It's but like okay, so like Through the Wire and like songs like that are like in rotation a lot for me. But I had not listened to this particular song probably in a good like year or so.
Oh, a year. Okay. I feel like that's recent.
I'm telling you, I love this album. So it has not been like the whole album has not been in heavy
Yeah.
rotation, but
No, it's a good album. I just Through the Wire just played, and I was like, oh, I forgot that he was literally like after that accident and the whole thing. So it's
yes, and
so interesting.
it's such like yeah, like that whole album. I think it's just like yeah, it's nostalgic.
It was a time. Okay, it was a time to be alive.
I
So if
think
you haven't
that
heard the song, go
yeah,
listen to the song.
I could fall down that rabbit hole really quick about like why it was a time to be alive, like why it was so important, like what it meant for some people, like what it was like for that to come out and for him just to be different, but to like different and amazing. It was just so many different things.
Yeah.
So
And we're gonna talk some more about Kanye. It's just gonna come up. It just is. So
mhm.
that's it. Let's make space for all of it. So this
But so like
song.
we said, with this
Oof.
particular song, Family Business. So the song talks like starts off with just an element. I believe like one of the first things that he mentions is like catching up with family. So like, you know, when you see family and you haven't seen them for a long time and you're catching up on like, oh, this person is playing ball now, or like this person is doing this and this person is doing that. So like catching up with family, but then also trying to avoid one of the elements. He's talking about a holiday without his grandmother. So, like, also having holidays, which, like I said, holiday time is coming up. What holidays look like for some of us when we are grieving family members? And in those moments of like, do we discuss it? Do we not discuss it? Do we bring it up? Do we make everybody cry? And like, you know, potentially uncomfortable, or do we like keep it to ourselves? I understand those feelings of like you may want to cry, but you don't want to cry in front of everybody. And then like he even says in the song, he's like, can somebody hurry up and do prayer? That way I have a reason to cover my face and pretend like I'm not crying. Like all of those things, trying to grieve, but it's holidays. I can't. I mean, like sometimes we can say, "I'm not coming to Thanksgiving because I'm gonna be sitting. I'm gonna be like I'll be sitting in the room crying." But sometimes it's like, I'm gonna show up." But this is difficult.
Very. And that's funny. Okay, that's your take on it. I really didn't think it was about Granny.
Mm,
It's about, I think, this is my, I'd be nosy. We break things down way too much. Listen, we
okay,
always like trying to be intense, but it's about, I think, Steve, whoever Steve is. But he was trying to say, like, his cousin. His cousin is in prison,
that one too.
I believe to say. And I didn't think Granny was dead, but maybe she is. I don't know. But the
Yeah, he
cousin,
said. I thought he said something about like the way that Granny did it, and then he was talking about which is something else. You guys got to mention. Have you guys ever had someone in the family? I don't know what Rocky's doing, but have you guys ever had someone in the family who makes a food dish specifically, and
mhm.
nobody else can replicate this dish the way that they have the way that they have?
Mhm.
So even when that person passes on, sometimes the food just has to die with them, because when somebody else tries to replicate it, you like, I don't know what we doing here, because now you done tried to make what they make, and I'm just like, this is not tasting the way that mama used to make this, and I don't even want it. So yeah, so like him mentioning that too, that like he mentioned his grandma not being there, and then he was like that, not having the food dishes that she made, or at least like them not tasting the way that it did when she made it. Like those aquaman. So Jasmine, you've never had a moment where somebody in the family tried to replicate someone else's recipe and it does not replicate well.
That usually doesn't happen in my family. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it usually doesn't happen. The people stay in their lane or they got a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the way my family operates. So like my mom makes gumbo Christmas Eve. No, nobody is trying to make that. I don't know what we will do when she's not here anymore. I think my
Yes.
brother will try to make it. I'm not going to try to make it because it takes all
But
day
that's
and
my
it's a very
thing
long
though,
thing.
that
But
if somebody
it
was going
happens.
to make it, would it taste exactly like hers? Like something's going to be potentially missing. Something may not taste
It's never gonna be the same. I mean, my
identical.
mom still complains. She's when she makes stuff for holiday, she'd be like, "It's good, but it don't taste like my mom's." I don't know because I don't know what my grandma's stuff tastes like, but I feel like it's a very common thing. Like the sources of grief are everywhere, especially in the holiday season. Like it's
Yeah.
just the dish, right? You just go here and you're like,
But that's
"Dang, I
the
wanted
hard
some X,
part
Y,
for
and
me.
Z," and then
But
you don't
that is
get
the
it.
hard part for me, because there is a lot of grief for me in food. For anybody who does not know me, if I have not mentioned it on other episodes, I am such a food person, and food is like so important to me. And there were certain like dishes that certain people in my life made that I'm just like, I guess I ain't never eat this again, because nobody can create it the way that you created it. And I have to this day have not eaten certain foods in years, because all it does
Really,
is it's like gonna disappoint me and make me sad that I eat them and they don't taste the way that my mom's did or my dad's did or my grandma's did. I'm just like, I'm not gonna eat it.
hmm. Okay, I get that though. I feel like it's relatable, huh?
And then I cry.
Yes,
because,
it
because
sounds grief.
yes, I want it. And I want this food and I want this person and I don't have it.
Yeah, definitely. Huh. I guess my family are like food people. Like my when my grandma was alive, she was the one making all of the food. And now
Yeah.
she doesn't make all of the food. They either make the recipes they know from her or they don't make it at all. And I don't try to make that happen because listen, if that's what it is, then we just not gonna do it, and that's fine. Or if we try to make it, it's an announcement to everybody. Listen, I know this ain't Grandma Jean's, but I made it. If you want some, get some.
Yeah.
So it can be a little complicated. Food is definitely a trigger at the holidays.
Yeah. a
And
hundred
like
percent.
memories, I think he talks a lot about just the memories that come up when you're with family. And sometimes that's really good.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's really not good. And it's
But
hard
if we're
either way.
staying with the idea of food, he also mentioned too, let's not stepping on anybody's toes, because I mean I've also been here myself, unfortunately. But
No, I
things
mean,
happen.
who are you
Things
talking about? If
happen.
you want to name somebody, you can name somebody, but I don't think you are. So
No, but I've also been here myself, unfortunately. When you have somebody who wants to experiment, or someone who wants to make something for the holidays and they can't cook, and they
not
bring a
everybody knows
dish,
they can't cook, though.
but still, so there is a dish that is sitting in the kitchen untouched. And it's like everybody knows that there's that one grandma, or that one auntie. Everybody's like, don't eat her food for whatever reason. Either it's gonna be nasty, it's
He
gonna be
said the
bland.
reason.
Yeah,
He was clear about the reasons. He said, "We know that auntie is fine, but we know they got roaches. We're not eating what she cooking."
that as well. So
And that is the thing.
I'll say that too. That their house nasty.
And we just gonna have to keep it 100% black. Black people are strange about animals in the house, and so if they've been to your house and you have animals in the house and it looks a certain way, don't let there be a cat in the house, or don't let them go to your house and your animals are doing something inappropriate, like on the furniture, on the counter, in the kitchen. Black folks ain't gonna eat your stuff. They not. They're just
Yeah.
not. And that's it's the culture.
I mean, understandable. So even that too. So this goes back to business, family business, and also the holidays of what that looks like when certain aunties, certain uncles, certain cousins, whoever brings a dish in, and everybody's like side eyeing that dish because they're not gonna eat it. Like I said, no judgment. I've been there before where my food has been sitting on the counter the entire time. It's fine. It's fine.
It's not even side eyeing. It's like it's just going in and being like, who made that? Who made that? So,
Mm-hmm.
you can do it in a way that's not just like, did Shannon make this? Because I'm not eating. You got to do all that because you're like,
But
okay,
sometimes
who
it do
made
be
all of
like
this?
that. Sometimes
It
it do
do.
be like that.
But let me say something about this. Know your own family. It is good. Read the room because some families, I have a family where we can experiment. I can be like, okay, I'm trying a new recipe. I'm doing this. Everybody's excited. They're going to try it. Not
Yeah.
all families are like that. They
I
want
love the fact that you guys do
those.
that.
I mean, it's not every year, but if I want to make green bean casserole, I want to make it from scratch. We gonna do it. We don't usually eat that, but like my family will be like, I'm gonna try it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see what's going on. Not everybody is like that, and so if your family will roast you up and down these streets because you tried a new dish and it didn't
Or
work
be
out,
like,
maybe
we
that's
don't
not
eat
the one.
that. Okay. Well, that's fine.
Or make it for yourself.
Yep.
Have your own holiday stuff. You ain't got to bring everything you make to the family gathering. Don't hurt your own feelings.
But that is a thing though. So like bringing this into the mental health aspect of this about the anxiousness that can come with being around family for family holidays is that the anxiousness of the grief part of I have to be in this situation knowing that someone's missing. So whether it's missing because of death or missing because someone's like not speaking to us right now, or because someone's locked up, like he said that you have a family member who's in jail, so they're missing the family reunion. I mean a family holiday. Also the feeling of like how are we going to interact? We talk about that too. That like you see so many posts online about aunties and things of that nature who say inappropriate things to people during holidays. So like being able to prepare for that anxiousness of like, is this going to happen? Is someone going to make a comment to me about life or about like my spouse or my lack of a spouse or like my kids or my lack of a kids and like all the things all the things that could happen. So like that can lead to a level of anxiousness and stress and going into the holidays as well.
I feel like that's why people get stressed, not just because it's about being around family, but because family is complicated
Yeah.
and they come with a whole host of stuff, right? Like there are reminders that things aren't the same or they don't look like they used to. There are
Yes.
reminders about people leaving or not being here, or not all families are functional and get along.
That part.
And so they also can be filled with conflict, which is
Hmm.
is part of like the lyrics that he said. He said Aunt Ruth and somebody, Uncle somebody, they be fighting all the time.
Hmm.
And then we
But
got to do
also
all
one of the
that every
things
time we get together.
that I think that he highlighted that makes it that to me is interesting that we do sometimes is that when these things happen, this is family business. So even if we've been fighting, even if we got food that's not being eaten, even if someone's saying inappropriate things, we're gonna smile. We're gonna take a family picture. I'm putting it on Facebook. I'm like, I got the best family in the world. Y'all are amazing. Don't ask me about why so and so is not in this picture because that's family business.
You're just saying unwritten black rules, are you not? What happens in the family stays in the family.
Mm, okay.
And I don't know that that's always healthy, but it is a rule.
Hmm. But what is the point of that?
Protection. You don't, as some parents would say, you don't let other people know what's going on in my house.
I understood.
right? Because
What do you think is?
it feels private, and it feels like if you let other people into that, then there's risk for things to turn out badly,
Mhm.
real bad.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think it is about the whole idea of like acting like nothing's wrong though? So like not even just about like let's keep it a secret, but let's boastfully act like that we have it all together. Let's post pictures. Let's do all these things of like we great, but it's like are we?
But I feel like if you're doing that, it's probably a reflection of the fact that y'all are not resolving and working through your issues, though.
Hmm.
Because if you could, I don't know. With me, if I feel some type of way about you, I'm not gonna be super excited about posting a picture about you. I want it to be resolved. I want you to really feel good about this, so we're gonna talk about it, right? And so,
Hmm.
if it feels weird, or I would say, if an unwritten rule in your family is we don't talk about stuff that happens, the
You talk
bad
about
stuff.
Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about the negative stuff. Then we're going to continue to pretend like it's all okay on Facebook and at home. You just
Hmm.
cuss so and so out, but we ain't talk about it. All you did was ask me if I want something to eat.
Hmm.
So it's like it feels like an extension of that. If we're
Yeah.
not talking at home, we ain't gonna be talking on Facebook.
Yeah.
We still gonna pretend like everything okay because that's what we do at home.
Yeah.
So I don't know if y'all relate to that or not, if you're a family like that, but I feel like it's a common thing that families have a hard time resolving sometimes, and
And then pretending, I
look
guess, in the
and being
process.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just like being like, my family is amazing when we know that we got people who are
Right.
not speaking, that's
You
not
called me
talking.
the other day telling me
Yeah.
what they did. So we
Yeah.
know that's not
You
true.
cuss me out, all these things.
But
One that,
even more, can
mhm.
we talk about like family secrets as well? Which I feel like that's kind of what he was saying too when he's talking about his cousin is in prison. He said, I don't know what they accusing you of, my guy. And if you did it, that's our business. That ain't nobody else's business. And I still will
Yeah.
support you.
So family secrets in that, but that to me also goes into the idea of we will go hard for our family sometimes, even when we know that our family is wrong. Me and my sister were talking about this recently. Was we were laughing hysterically because like me and her both love to watch crime shows, and there's a particular crime situation that's happening like right now. There's a guy who's in jail who is like appealing his case, and his sister-in-law has went back to jail. I mean, she has went back to school to become a lawyer and everything. This man is guilty. I don't care what nobody say. He guilty, and she is like, free my brother. He ain't did it. And I feel like, and I told her because she was like, it sounds crazy. And I was like, I don't know, because if it was you, I'd be the same way. I'm walking around with shirts all day that say free case until it's backwards. I don't care if they got different. I don't care what kind of evidence they got. I'm like, my sister didn't do it. Like, and I feel like that was kind of like his thing too. That he was like, if you did it, that's between us. But I'm still gonna be like, and like even at the end of the song, the little boy on the song was like, "Please let Stevie out of jail." Like, we still fighting for you.
Mm-hmm. It's complicated, man. It's complicated. I could speak about it all day. I feel like if it's me and mine, yes, I feel the same way. And at the same time, like, you know how you be seeing people post on Facebook or something, be like, free so and so, and they doing all that, and you be like, but somebody died, my guy. He killed someone.
That's,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
it's
I'm not gonna
okay
say
that
that it's
he.
not bad, because a lot of times it'd be bad because it'd be like, no, I think he might like him. He stay in jail. He didn't like murder like 15 people on the corner. Like he might need to be in jail. But I
Mhm.
do think that sometimes as a family member that we be like, I'm still gonna fight for my person because
But I think you can do both though, right? Like you can hold people accountable and still show up for them, right? Like we're
yes.
still visiting them, we're still doing the calls, which Kanye talks about in the song. Like I'm talking to you through glass. You know, I never really thought it was gonna be like that. You was always here with me. So like I get that part, but I don't know.
There
It's
is a
it's
level
nuanced.
of kind of like a little spice, and I'm gonna throw this out there. Don't get mad at me. Just throw a little right here, a little razzle dazzle. That if the like what you were saying earlier, maybe if we did not have family secrets and we did not fail to discuss things, some of these crimes wouldn't have happened. I'm just saying that with if maybe if we would have addressed Ray Ray's behaviors 10 years ago, when he was a little kid out here tearing stuff up in the house, and y'all was like, leave my child alone. He wouldn't be that 25-year-old guy out here shooting folks. Just maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a family secret. It sounds like something else. But there's also a layer, and again, we're gonna have to keep it black. There's also a layer for me, and I'm just like, is the justice system really doing what it's supposed to do? How do we really know that Ray Ray did what he did? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we know Ray Ray did what he did, but sometimes, or many times, because I feel like as Black people, it is a very universal experience to have a family member in prison. And you'd be like, you know how when you're young, you're like, well, what'd they do? What happened? The family's like, whatever. And sometimes it's something, but a lot of times it's nothing. Folks get caught up.
100%. Yeah. Especially as a Black family, we know that sometimes the justice system is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the idea of family.
No, I know what you mean.
When we know, and I don't know about you, but I've had several clients that have come in and they've said things, and I'm just like, so the whole family knew that this person was out there doing that, and y'all just didn't. Y'all was gonna let him keep like molesting the whole neighborhood, or like tearing all this
whole
stuff
neighborhood. Up? My God. And this is not untrue. I'm just saying,
100%. Like literally, like people who have harmed multiple kids, and like nobody wanted to say anything, and it's like,
or adults. There's a lot of domestic violence situations.
Yes, that as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of holding him accountable, it's what you do to him.
Exactly. And then we yelling free Ray Ray when, you know, Ray Ray got off several times.
Yeah.
Ray Ray had chances to change.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't. So if there's a lot going on, it just gets complicated when it is your folks. You always want justice if somebody harmed your family. But when it comes to your family being held,
then it feels a little iffy. You like, wait.
Like, I don't know. You know, we could do this and we could do that. Listen, we got to be careful about those things.
Yes, 100%. So that goes back to what you were saying, that family is complicated. Family can be complicated, and trying to support family in certain situations, even when you may know that they're wrong. So figuring out what that support looks like, and knowing that sometimes in certain families, I'm not gonna say just all Black families, because the thing I'm talking about that was white people on TV, but also supporting certain people when they could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And like not like realizing what that support and that accountability looks like.
Yeah, and the feeling, being able to do both, right? Like you can support people and still hold them accountable. You can do both at the same time. I really had a hard time when I worked with kids who were court ordered, we'll say, that some of their parents would be like, I'm just not visiting you. This is your punishment. And yes, they did things. I know it's a problem, but I feel the same way about that for adults too, that we can't just throw people away, right? Yes. Like they still need support. They still need all this. You can still ask them to change and be accountable for what they did and reflect on that and change their behavior. But also people need people. And so we can do both. We don't have to enable people to do terrible things and say it's supportive. We can hold people accountable and still support them.
But that's why I said too, that's also a slippery slope, because that goes into so many things, working with kids or being around kids in different situations where the parents would punish them. And part of their punishment was to not be able to be around them or to not be around families. And punishment and love should not go together like that. Just because you are receiving a consequence for your behavior does not mean that my love should also equate to that. That I'm mad at you or you're getting in trouble for staying out at night, which means I won't speak to you for a week. That's not the same as having consequential behavior, but that's a whole nother.
Exactly. Should not be without consequence, but here we are.
Yeah.
A little soapbox.
So accountability but still having support. So yeah. One of the things that I loved, but also hated too, because I know how it feels personally. He talked about in family situations when family members want to bring up things that you don't find funny. Like,
which line are you talking about? Because I do not remember this.
He talks about how one of the cousins or somebody in the family said he used to pee in the bed in front of his girlfriend. Like, why are we gonna wait until my person is sitting right there and then tell them I used to pee in the bed? Like, why? You know he peed in the bed until he was like 12, right? Like, why we gotta say this? Like, why we gotta do this? Why do sometimes family members feel the need to embarrass you as if it's funny, and especially in front of company. Like, I'm going to embarrass you in front of company because this is funny.
Sometimes it is funny. But you also like need to know the person. Like you can't just be if there's someone around you and y'all joke like that and y'all have the relationship to joke like that, I would say do that, but also be receptive to be like, that's too far. That's too much.
Hmm.
Which I get, but some black families, okay, and I'm speaking about my own. I don't know. Figure that out. They have no chill, and so if you're present in the space, everybody gonna get some. It don't matter who you are, and
And
sometimes
see,
that's hard.
I don't like that. I
Yeah,
really
that's
don't
hard.
sometimes. I feel like that
I'm not saying it's
if
right.
we're going to reminisce on a past family memory, it needs to be one that all of us find funny or something like that. Because if I'm over here telling a joke about you and I'm dying laughing, but you're not laughing, it's not funny, bruh.
I know, but sometimes you don't know that until you've already said it, and you're like, "Oh,
Yes.
this person doesn't think that's funny. That's my bad." You need to bring that up. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say something out of like, "I don't remember we laughed about this last time," but maybe that was me and you. That wasn't everybody.
Yes.
That wasn't in front of my
But
girlfriend.
I do feel like that some people potentially do that on purpose as well too. Like, that's a whole nother thing. But I think sometimes people do that on purpose, because at what point would it ever be appropriate? Like, if you brought a new man to dinner, for me to be like, so the Jasmine used to have this issue with she, like, why would that ever be appropriate? Why would that ever be funny?
It's a great question.
It says during the dialogue, when it's blood, they do think it's funny to embarrass you in front of your circle. Yes, but I don't understand, like, why. Like, why do we do that? Is it like that we think it's? Do we really think it's funny? Are we trying to embarrass you? Do we want this person to be like, yeah, I don't want to be here? Like, what do we do? Am I breaking you in? Like, I'm breaking you into the family? Like,
But some people really are like that though. You haven't had family experiences where they're just like, "Ooh, so and so finna bring their girlfriend. I already warned them about y'all. I need y'all to be nice." And the family comes and they just like, "No, she gonna have to get to be okay with us, or she's
yes,
not gonna fit in with us."
yes,
And
now
that's
I have seen that.
rough.
Yes, it's
That's
almost like
rough.
getting hazed to get in the family. Jump in,
Yeah,
jump out.
but some jump in, jump out, blood in, blood out. Okay. But it be like that. Some families are really hardcore and they do not want to change the family culture. They said either they mesh with us or they don't. And so they need
Yes,
to get in where they fit in.
or
Not
like
all
you
families are
said,
like that.
is it like your family where it's like this is how we all get it. Everybody can get it.
And if you complain about it, then what they say? You so sensitive. We always playing. You always got to
I
be in
know
your
we can't play
feelings.
in front of someone, so because she act like she don't know.
Oh, we
Like
can't
she
play
can't
with you
do it.
no more. Okay, so you do all this, and it's your fault that you offended because they said something crazy.
Yes.
Family, we can do better, guys. We can.
Okay.
We absolutely can. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yes, I agree. They
Is
do
there a
think it's
different
funny.
type of is there a different type of loss that we have for people who are not there because of grieving, or people who are not there because they're in prison? Is it like, do we see it the same, or do we treat it the same?
No, I don't think so. I feel like we don't talk about this a lot. We always talk about grief in the holidays. In that, when we say that, I feel like we mean, oh, like if you lost somebody recently or you lost somebody a long time ago, that's really hard. But we don't talk about the different type of things that breaks families up, like
Have you ever
divorces,
seen a family,
marriages.
once again, which it could be family business? Have you ever seen a family refer to someone who is in prison as on vacation?
It hasn't occurred in my family, but I've seen other families do it. Oh, well, he just, or you know how some people just be like,
He's on a work trip and he'll be back in like in like a year. What?
it's definitely like with kids, with kids. Oh, they're in so and so, and like they don't do that, or like, so never mind. This is unrelated, but it's in the same vein. I was gonna say some people, if they don't know the dad is, they'll be like, actually, your dad is Barack Obama, and he just never told anyone. I've also seen that
Oh,
before.
I thought that you were also gonna say family secrets. Now, this is something that I okay. Anywho, it has happened. People do it. You ever had a family member who got pregnant and nobody wanted them to know, and they sent them away for a little while, and then they come
Absolutely.
back,
It's like,
and
oh,
then like, oh,
she's
she went to go,
away
yeah,
at
she went to
school.
go stay with cousin so and so. I ain't never heard of that cousin. Like, who? What cousin is that? Like,
Absolutely. Come
don't
back.
ask questions, girl. Be quiet. Okay.
Come back, folks done gain weight, lost weight, and we got a new sibling. Well, how that work?
Yeah.
That definitely used to happen back in the day a lot more.
Now we got a new sibling.
No, seriously, like if you have like a teenage pregnancy and they come and they'll be like, I'm gonna raise it like my daughter, you're gonna
Yes.
pretend like you're the sister, and then we
And
gotta do
nobody
that
says
whole thing.
anything.
And then we find out now in 23andMe that was
Yes.
not the case. So
Yes.
yes,
But
families
once again, don't nobody say nothing. We won't say nothing.
or people really don't know. They never correct the story. Like they may tell you something when you're little, but then when you get older and you're old enough to know, nobody corrects the story, and they said that that's actually your sister.
Yes.
That's not
Yes.
your grandchild. Like
I have a couple of clients who did not find out until adulthood that the people who they thought were their sister were really their mother, or the person who they thought was their father was really like an uncle or something like that. And those are those uncomfortable situations. It's also really, really uncomfortable for clients that I've had that everybody else knew except for them. So like those moments when where
that's
everybody
almost worse.
really does know, but no one says anything to you.
Is
Or
that
like
not
sometimes
worse?
you can hear like whispering at family functions, but you have no idea what they're talking about. And or someone will slip up one time, get drunk, and be
Exactly.
like they're your cousin. You like what? Huh?
Yeah, that man across the street, that's actually your daddy. They ain't never told you that.
And
Like, and then we
then y'all want to call him the drunk uncle. Like that ain't the drunk uncle. You don't want to tell him the truth.
right. It's toxic around here, around these parts. So, anyway, we digress. Let's go back to grief.
We got stuff that be going on.
No, we got to talk about it. And I even have more to say about what we talked about before, but we're going to talk about grief for now.
Okay.
But we don't talk about the grief of somebody going off to prison, but we don't talk about families being estranged. Okay,
Yes.
what if they got a divorce, so we don't know whose house we're going to be at this time?
Mhm.
Or what if we just don't talk anymore? What if this person is alive and well, but we just don't talk because they are harmful in some way?
Or not
That's a
even just
loss.
harmful, like y'all done fell out, so they're not coming to
Well,
your
that's a
house,
good
and now we
point.
just got to figure out like what we're doing here,
We
or
just
we
not
just like
talking.
not going to mention that one of the aunties or one of the cousins is no longer here.
Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. Like I know people can relate to that, or even like people who are sick. People get in accidents, right? Their brain chemistry changes, and you have family that are just not the same as they used to be. Like that's a type of grief, because we
Yes.
used to laugh, we used to joke. This person was functional, and now to look at them because maybe they've been diagnosed with something or they're going through something, they're not the same.
Yeah.
And holidays aren't the same.
Yeah.
Or substance abuse. If you have families that you haven't seen in years, because they're not well, right? Like they're deep in addiction. You haven't seen them. Holidays aren't the same.
Mm-hmm.
You have those family members, those cousins, those aunties and uncles that it's not a holiday if you don't see them.
Yes. Or the ones who we know that we try to avoid on holidays. Have you ever had those too, where you don't tell that family member what time we all meeting or what house we going to because because we don't want them to show up. We don't want them to show up, like you said, like drunk or high, and to ruin the whole family, and to ruin the whole family event.
Or you tell them a different time when everybody gone.
Yes, or a different house or something like that, because you already know he's gonna show up and tear
Show
some
out.
stuff up. Yes.
Yep.
So yeah, the anxiety of that as well. Of like, we got to make sure he don't figure out where we at. He or she don't figure out where we at.
It's just the grief of it. It's like for some of those things are just not ever going to look the same.
Yeah.
And sometimes they look different for a time and then they get back to what it was, but sometimes it just won't. And like we have to grieve that stuff.
Yeah.
Like some people don't show up to family functions because of grief, right? Because they don't want to be reminded of all the memories or something. And so they just won't pop up. Not because it's about the family, it's because those emotions are too hard.
Like I said, it be the food sometimes.
It don't even have to be the food. It could be the house.
I'm just saying,
You know how
sometimes
just
we do,
like
though.
no,
And
but like it could be as small as like driving past. Whenever I go to this neighborhood,
oh
I
yeah,
know
that
we
part
going
too.
to grandma's house, and
Yes,
like they can't even do
like
it.
walking in that house and realizing that it's not the same house, it's not the same things, or like those like weird feelings. Like, listen, I have neighborhoods I would not drive through, like to this day, because of those situations. But yeah,
Yep. When I had kids who were away from home and they had somebody pass away while they were in care, I would make a point for like one of their passes to be to go back to the home or to go in a space where that person was because I didn't want it to be shocking to them when they got out of residential treatment and this person is completely gone and you didn't even warm up to it. You just got smacked in the face with the fact that we at grandma's house and grandma ain't there.
Yeah.
Or we at your auntie house and she ain't there no more. So like for some people, I think we just need to give them some grace. If they're not showing up, it might not be about you. They might be grieving and they might not be able to yet.
Also, once again, about me and the food, I have realized, I'm just saying, this be my own grief, y'all. I have realized that sometimes when I am the one asking, can we do something different for foods, or can we like do like something different for foods? It's sometimes it's honestly and truthfully just because I don't want to have to eat these foods. I don't want to have to go through the grief.
Speak on it, friend.
So I would rather let's do a seafood boil, y'all, because this seems because it was like that seems safer to me than knowing that I can't have. So.
And I need y'all to comment and say if that hits you, because like avoiding grief triggers sometimes that's okay though. Like I'm using all these like therapist-y words, just like you can't avoid your triggers, but sometimes we just need something different.
Yeah.
Right? Like we still want to get together. We don't want to not to get together, but we also don't have to like sit in sadness.
Or like make it look the way that it normally looks, because in honesty, it does not look the way that it used to look. And there's nothing that we can do to make it look the way that it used to look. So sometimes the safest thing is just like to make it look completely different.
Yeah. I was talking with Dr. Maddox this week and we were talking about grief and just being able to accept that things will never be the same. You were not the same person that you are when those people were here, now that they're not. And it just is. I think it's neutral. It's not one way or another. And so if family gatherings have to look different now, that's fine. It can still be good. It just doesn't have to be the same.
Yeah.
So listen, do a crab boil. You know what I love? Cater some food. We ain't got to do the traditional stuff. We don't have to. Go on vacation during the holidays instead of doing the old thing and meeting up at so-and-so's house that we were always at.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got to be married to all that tradition all the time.
So I don't know. Are we at the point for questions that need answers, or questions that were just like questions?
I think I had another point. Oh, I was gonna say, okay. What I thought was cute, besides the fact that this gave me all the feels, like when I heard it, automatically my brain goes to those cousins. Of like the cousins that she used to take a bath with, you always got the pictures of just like, oh, there's me and so taking a bath. I don't know what was going on back in the day that we was trying to conserve water. Everybody got to be in the same.
That's what I think it was. I think it was conserving hot water. By the time this bathtub got filled up, it got filled up one time, and all y'all better get in this bathtub together.
2, 3, 4 kids in the bathtub. What's going on? Okay.
Or like, I think that it was like the idea of like making it fun, but we know that it was not always fun times at the moment. But I mean, sometimes it was. But like family sleepovers, when it'd be like, 5, 6 of us, like either in the bed or like, all on the floor.
Head to feet. Oh, and make a pallet.
The foot next to the face.
Yes. And spend the time trying to make sure you got the right spot, because you got to get in the right spot.
Yes.
By the cousin that gets on your nerves, but you need to be right there. And like, I feel like because we know family for like our lifetime, like I think, what was it, Speaking with Gravity was saying like family does think it's funny. Sometimes we got old petty childhood things still lingering, right? Like little kids do, so and so gets more attention, or grandma treats so and so better, and so we still have those things popping up when we're adults. So that can affect how our family gatherings go, right? So and so used to tease you all the time. Sometimes that hasn't stopped, and we both 45. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a factor to that too, of just like childhood things run deep. It don't matter if it's your cousin or your auntie or whatever, they still pop up. Yeah. Okay, cool.
You ready for questions?
Sure. I don't really have that many questions. I don't think I have any questions, really.
I don't know. I didn't really have like questions that so much needed answers. I think it was just like the with this song, the reflection of like what this song brought up for you, what this song like made you feel, like how are you preparing for the holidays, what things like may potentially make you anxious, what things are we like, how are you dealing with the things that may potentially make you anxious, like what ways are we protecting ourselves, are we switching things up, are we preparing for somebody to not be there, are we like, what are we doing?
How are you just taking care of yourself?
Voter, like, what does that look like?
Just taking care of yourself. Yeah. Yes. How are you taking care of yourself during this time?
How are we staying mentally dope?
all the time. So, question: what dish are you picky about? What dish are you only eating if somebody you know well has cooked it?
Yes, or like this like particular
No, I'm
aunt,
asking you.
uncle, cousin, whoever. Like yes, I need like don't nobody else make the mac and cheese but her, or like don't
No,
nobody
I'm
else.
asking you. What is your dish?
Oh, I don't really know. So I will say, and this is another grief moment for me. My mother used to make the best potato salad.
Black people love a
Yes,
potato
I love
salad,
it.
baby.
But I had never been able to find anybody who made theirs like her, so I just like didn't eat it for a really long time. And then I got married, and my husband's aunt made potato salad that tastes identical, like identical to my mom's potato salad, like to the point when the first
That
time,
is a
like to the
statistical
point,
anomaly. That does not happen.
like yes, and I say like to the point that when I first like ate a bite, I started crying. Like I literally had to like go to the corner and cry because I was just like, like those moments of like I thought that I would never eat this again, and like mama, you put like yeah, all those things. But like yeah, that for me. So for me, when it comes to homemade potato salad, Auntie knows that I'm requesting it every year because like it does something
You
to
know
me.
what's up? Okay. And so you're not straying away from anybody else's potato salad. You ain't.
I mean, I don't really do a lot of homemade potato salad from other people. There's a couple restaurants that do it well, but I'm not even gonna try it to be honest. I ain't even gonna try it.
Okay. I think mine is probably the mac and cheese. I'm really big on the mac and cheese, so it need to be right. It need to
Hmm.
look right. It need to be made by the right person. And then greens, I'm absolutely not eating everybody's greens. Absolutely, 100,000% not eating everybody's greens. So I don't, and nobody makes them better than my mom. Shout out to my cousin. I love your greens too, but they still are not the same. So it's got to be right. I ain't just putting everything. Mm-mm. It's not, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Um, no shade. I love everybody, and also listen. We can have the staples, and we can do the staples, and then add the other extra dishes that we don't usually do. I'm open to a new dish, but we're
Hmm.
not gonna do a new spin on greens. We're gonna do the
No,
same
yeah,
thing
I get that. I
that
get
we
that.
did.
My husband was going in about that the other day. The don't nobody got time for nobody to be experimenting on stuff that they saw on Instagram and putting Instagram meals and and I was like, why can't we do that? He was like, well, if you do, it better be a small portion because that's not.
But why are we like this? Why? Like, why? I really feel strongly about it. Why are we like
He
this as a
wanted to.
people?
I think that his was he wanted to make sure that the meals that he wanted were big enough portions. Like don't play with like
Never
his
mind.
spaghetti and stuff like that. He was like, yes, make a big pot of spaghetti and then make a little small pot of whatever it is that you found on Instagram because that may not be good. And like, don't use up all your energy on that and
I'm
skip
sorry.
about spaghetti.
Well, I don't want to be a jerk. Do you guys have spaghetti? Is that one of
Yes,
the
yeah,
Thanksgiving dishes
yeah.
for
That's
Christmas?
that it is on my husband's side of the family. That was never one from my side of the family, but yes,
Oh,
on his side of the
that's
family.
new to me. I ain't never
Yes,
had spaghetti
yeah,
during the
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Spaghetti is
Okay.
a staple on his side of the family.
Noodles and sauce together or separate?
I grew up with them being separate. He puts them together.
Y'all, we learn something new every day. This is amazing.
That is a whole nother conversation, y'all, of things that you have to adjust to in marriage. Because like you did not realize that something like that would be a big issue.
Is
We
it
did
an issue?
we did not eat spaghetti together for a really long time in our marriage.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't just put it separate and then when you get it, put it together?
We also cooked it differently. Ours like my way that I learned
Sugar.
as a kid taste the one way, his taste the one way. He didn't want mine, I didn't want his.
You're
It was
right.
just it was a whole thing.
You're right. You're right. Wow. Food is very emotional, y'all.
It
It
is.
is so emotional. I'm so serious. Like, why are we so stuck on the way the food has to be? As Black people, we get really stuck on it. I need questions. We're gonna dive in it as therapists. Maybe if y'all want to, we'll do a video on that because I got questions.
Yeah. So
Okay.
as always, guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. This is Stay Mentally Dope, where we talk about all things at the intersection of Black culture and mental health. So, like, subscribe, comment, and as always, stay mentally dope, guys.